Hey everyone, it's Professor Clark, and in this lecture, we are going to dive into, or rather, we're not going to dive all the way into, we are going to dip a toe into an aspect of Russian that is fairly challenging for beginners, and that is using the genitive to specify quantity. Let's start with counting to 1, and plot twist, when we count to 1, or any number ending in the word 1, we do not use the genitive, we use the nominative singular. And so this is for numbers ending in the word 1. If you say the word 1, you must then follow it with a noun in the nominative singular, unless there's some reason to put it in another case, but we're not going to worry about that now. So if it's the subject or the predicate, we have the appropriate form of 1 and then the nominative singular, not just for 1, but for 21, 31, 41, 51, and so on and so forth. And the word 1 is a modifier and has to agree with its noun in gender, case, and number. So the masculine form is going to be один. The neuter form is одно. The feminine form is одна, and the plural form is одни. And you might say to yourself, how can you have a plural of 1? Well, you can because there are things that are inherently plural in Russian, like часы, a watch or a clock, or очки, glasses. And when we are counting them or talking about them, and we need to use the modifier 1 in some way, then it needs to be in the plural, одни. There are example sentences of using the word 1 or some number ending in the word 1 in your textbook, so I would check those out. Now let's talk about 2 through 4. And this is where things get really difficult because Russian, like most Slavic languages, distinguishes between one thing, 2, 3, or 4 things, and 5 or more things. And so far, we can only do 2 through 4 because 5 and above takes the genitive plural, and we don't do that yet. We just, numbers 5 or more, we don't deal with them yet. But following the numbers 2, 3, or 4, so dva for masculine and neuter, or dvia for feminine is 2, 3 is 3, and 4 is 4. Or any number ending in the words 2, 3, or 4, we are going to use the genitive singular. And again, we will use dva for masculine and neuter nouns, and dvia for feminine nouns. And not only do 2, 3, and 4 follow this rule, but numbers like 22, 33, and 44 follow this rule. But not, this is very important, 12, 13, or 14, because we do not say 2, 3, or 4 when we say 12, 13, or 14. In fact, we say 10. So if we have 2, 3, or 4 of something, or any amount ending in the words 2, 3, or 4, we take the genitive singular. You cannot count higher than 2, 3, or 4 at the moment. And you cannot count adjectives. Both of those require the genitive plural, so just hold off on those. But you can count nouns up to 4 at this point. Let's finish off with some example sentences. Let's look at some example sentences with 1. У меня один учебник. I have one textbook. Notice that textbook is in the nominative because we have it, and there's one of it. And then один matches учебник. They are both masculine nominative singular. У меня 21 письмо. I have 21 letters. And we are saying a number that ends in the word 1. So everything is in the nominative singular. Одно письмо. У меня 21 письмо. У меня 31 книга. I have 31 books. Same thing. We have a number that ends in the word 1, so everything is going to be in the nominative singular, and the word 1 has to match its noun. Одна книга. У меня 31 книга. Now let's look at some example sentences with 2, 3, and 4. For instance, у меня 2 сестры. I have 2 sisters. And notice that we use the form две with сестра because сестра is feminine. У меня 2 сестры. And we put sestra in the genitive singular because there are two of them. У меня два брата. I have two brothers. And notice that we use the form два because brat is masculine. У меня два брата. And again, we put it in the genitive singular because there are two of them. Два брата. У меня 22 книги. I have 22 books. Once again, we are going to use the form две because two is modifying a feminine noun. And we are going to put the noun itself in the genitive singular because there are 22 of them. We say the word two. У меня 22 книги. I have 22 books. У меня 44 учебника. I have 44 textbooks. And you might say, that's a lot of textbooks. But in fact, in many professors' offices, textbooks build up like you wouldn't believe. And I'm sure there are many professors here who have at least 44 textbooks. And again, notice that we put учебник into the genitive singular, учебника, because we have a number, a quantity that ends in the word for. У меня 44 учебника. So that is your introduction to counting. As a student once said, it's no wonder that they're all great at math in Russia because you have to be a frickin' math genius just to speak the language. However, once you get used to it, it will just roll off the tongue very naturally. It will seem normal to you. You will not question it, and it will all make sense, or at least you will accept it and you will be able to use it correctly and without difficulty.